Okay, so the warden talks to Mike, and she tells him, or he tells her, "You have my attention." And he said, "What is that you want?" She's like, "I don't know, Mike. You seem to know everything that goes on around here." And he said, "Okay, I know that you have strong ties or something with, um, I don't know, something about the trains or whatever." And then she goes, "Okay, keep going." And I think he mentioned Frank, and he said, "You want Frank or something?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, he's well insulated." She said, "That sounds like a you problem." And he says, "Okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll give you Frank, but I want Kyle back in AdSeg, and I want Merle Callahan and Gen Pop." She said, "Okay, but there's a time limit." So I don't think she's gonna put. I can't imagine her putting Callahan and Gen Pop. I think there's gonna be something. She's like a technicality with the time thing she's gonna do because she's sick of Mike trying to run things, and he's sick of her not letting him run things. But they agree. They agree and they let Mike out. So Mike is going to go see Kyle to see if he's okay. Cindy, on Kyle's way back, Cindy stops and says that there's a visitor here for you, unscheduled visitor. It's your brother, and Kyle just looks. Kyle can't. He can't do this. He said, "I can't." He said, "I can't see him right now." And Callahan is hearing all that, and I'm sure he's loving it because his little plan is working, kind of separating him from Mike. Cindy goes to tell Mike, and the whole time, of course, acting like they don't know each other. She said, he doesn't want to see you, or your brother is refusing visitors. And Mike just was like, "Is he okay?" Cindy said yes. Or he said, "Is he safe?" Cindy said yes. Mike goes to see Frank and tells him that the Kingstown police are going to come pick him up. And he says, Frank says, "I won't be there." And Mike was like, "That's not how it works." And Frank is like, "I don't know why they're looking at me. I mean, I've never been arrested." He really is like big on not being ever being arrested. So Mike says, "If you leave, it's gonna look like you have something to hide." And he said, "You know how this works." And Frank goes, "Okay, well, I'll be there, but I'll take my lawyer." Mike was like, "I don't care if you take your pastor or whatever. You know how this works." And then Mike leaves. He then gets on the phone and he calls Ian to let Ian know the plan to pick up. So he's making it appear that he's picking up Frank for the warden. And so Ian says, "Well, what if happens if we don't, when she finds out we can't hold him?" And he said, "Just buy me time." So Ian's down. Ian's down for whatever. Okay. Ian's the homie. Mike asked Ian, he also asked Ian about Lamar, the driver. And Ian said, he doesn't want to talk to anybody. He did shoot off some rounds. He probably doesn't want another gun charge. And Mike said, or maybe he hates cops. I'm not a cop. So, give me the address so I can go talk to him and find out what he saw. Evelyn finds out basically that the witness, they're not going to find the witness. The last time his plates were scanned, they were in Indiana, and that was like 22 hours ago. So she knows it's over. Mike goes to talk to Lamar, and he asked him if he saw anything. Lamar said, "I didn't see anything." And then Lamar says, I shot off two mags." And Mike was like, "Two mags? And you didn't hit anything?" He was like, and then Lamar said, "If I did, they dragged the bodies, or they took the bodies, the wounded or whatever." So Mike's looking at Lamar because he's like rubbing his hands together, just seeming real fidgety. And then Mike said, "Well, yeah, well," after he notices that, he goes, "I'll ask Bunny." He said he's awake. Lamar does not have a poker face. That's the look he had on his face when he told him that, when Mike told him that Bunny was awake, which Bunny isn't. And he said, "Mike, you buried the lead." He said, "You should have led with that." And he was like, "Yeah, Bunny's tough." Mike said, "Bunny's tough." Then Mike leaves. Outside, Ian and Stevie are talking about how many lottery tickets Ian buys or whatever. Their side conversations are really funny to me. They're always bickering, but you can tell they're like besties. Mike comes out and they say, "Did he tell you anything?" And Mike said, "Lamar got flipped." And they said, "The cartel?" And he said, "No, Frank flipped him." Mike said, we were too busy worried about the cartel. We didn't see Frank was after Bunny all along." And he said something about the train situation would have drawn Bunny out. Oh, I guess he meant drawing him out to give him the opportunity to have him hit because Bunny hadn't maybe been going anywhere. I don't know. So they pick up Frank. Cindy's going home for the evening. The creeper guy's in this car being a creep. He's watching her walk out to her car doing things um to himself. So he's living up to his name. This scene, the minute I saw this scene, this Kyle's back in his room, back in his cell. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, he's gonna be like, "You're okay, brother. You okay, brother?" He didn't quite say that, but it was close. Brother was definitely at the end of it. I'm so sick of him working Kyle. And he talks about, he said, yeah, it's not that bad being in the cell next to me, is it? He said, I'll protect you. He said, when's the last time anybody protected you? He said, you see the value. Now, Kyle should be thinking, so you set that stuff up? But I don't think that's what Kyle's thinking. He's getting to Kyle, and I think Kyle's going to turn on Mike or turn away from Mike. I don't know so much turn on him. Like, I don't think he's going to do anything to him, but I do think he is going to ice out Mike and start hanging out with Merle, because with Callahan, because he needs a friend and he can't make it in there. And that's exactly what Mike didn't want to happen. I feel bad because Mike's doing all these things, but it really is making it worse for Kyle. They get into the police station and there's a guy sitting there and he pulls out a gun. Ian yells gun, and then they get Frank in a room separate. So that was the whole cartel trying to put a hit on Frank, which now I wonder what Frank's gonna think about Mike telling him. Well, he's gonna wonder why Mike didn't know that was gonna happen. That's gonna be crazy because Mike didn't know that was gonna happen, but those are Mike's boys, the cops, and they escorted him there. So it's almost like it was a setup. I saw an interview with Lenny Lenny James is his name, who plays Frank, and he said one of his favorite scenes was I forget what episode. He didn't say the episode, or maybe he did, but he said everybody was in the room and everybody was lying. So I'm thinking it's going to be about what happened here, the conversations. But yeah, there was a hit, and I think his lawyer, because he brought his lawyer, I believe his lawyer got hit, but he didn't get hit. So it ends with Mike. He came into the room and Bunny's sister was there, and he told her, "Go ahead and go home. He'll stay with Bunny." I like their relationship a lot, because Mike's all Bunny has really as far as in the game, because he can't trust anybody, and the fact that Bunny was so and he was so like, I didn't think Frank was gonna try to kill Bunny. I didn't. I thought maybe Bunny would be in harm's way or go to jail because of Frank, but I didn't think he was trying to take him out. So now he has to deal with being gullible. When Bunny wakes up, I hope he wakes up. Um, that's gonna be an episode to see once he gets better, because he's gonna be after Frank big time. Because I can't, like, he's gonna be so pissed that he bought um what he was selling. So that was into this episode. I can't wait to see next week. Oh, I hate that we just can't binge these. But anyway, come back for what was it, episode 7?